Well, hello, 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 and welcome. This is Julie with the Jewel Design, and probably a Wednesday. Mm, I so wanted to work on this kit, and with you guys from last week, and just got busy. So, like I said, this is Julie with the Jewel Design, and we have been working on. We started this project last week before Mother's Day, and this is going to be what I call my Floral Dreamer ephemera holder book, because we decided to take a file folder, give it a spine, give it a front and back, and give it the concept or the feel by giving these gussets, these little mini spines, the look of book pages, right? In this day and age, a lot of hardback books are being painted with designs on the edge of the paper, and so only when you flip it open and you fan it out can you not see the image. But when it's closed, it's really pretty. So it sort of had the same feel. Now, I put our magnets in here to keep it closed, right? And you can see the seam. Little bummed, but I don't know how much is going to go inside. It may have been bulky anyway, and I think we're going to do a faux piece of lace. We're going to do a piece of lace in here that is going to, we'll glue it on one side only. And, so it's really not in the way, but it'll sort of hide some of the seam so it's open. But we're not really going to know until we start filling on the inside. So I maybe not cover this outside section until we know for sure, because I may have to pull these off, and I'd hate to ruin more paper, right? But the goal on the outside, like we've done on the inside, is to trace these outer edges and then bring it in just a little bit so it is bordered. And we're going to use this blue to cover these sort of inner but outer pages. Now, this was supposed to go on the inside, but when I was done and I started tweaking, I realized that, what was the deal? Something was coming up, and I realized that this would be the better picture. Even though I was going to do this on top of this, we were going to do something different. Something about it was a problem, and I don't remember what the problem was. But at this point, I don't remember. You have to go back and go look at the last video. But this was supposed to be the inside. This was the idea. I think maybe the wrong direction. I don't remember what the deal was. I just think it was color-wise. I think it came down to where I wanted to do something a little different with these panels, and this wasn't going to be the paper that I wanted for it. Even though I blended in, I don't think I liked these cards on this, and I liked it better on here. So we made some adjustments. It still works beautifully. I think this dark blue in here will help hide the magnet. Be a nice, simple thing. I could still put stuff on it later if I wanted to, but it'll be a really pretty floral, just like the rest of this gorgeous kit. I did all my fussy cutting the other day, though. I was happy with myself. But there's the front. We definitely have to decorate the front, of our ephemera holder book. And the back is just as gorgeous. So, it's coming along pretty well. It's just whether or not these are going to be a little too thick or not, or they're going to be perfect. We're going to need that space because it's going to have, we may have more stuff in here than we realize once we start gluing down all these pockets and start stuffing them with things. So we'll see how it goes. So today I want to work on this panel for sure and start the process of the inner panels. This is the only one I'm not sure about yet, and we can see the black text from the file folder. I'm glad it's not on the outside. It'd be harder to cover, but I'm thinking that we either get another, we get something where maybe I'm right on the cusp here. We're going to tab in another panel, whether it's a short panel like this, whether it's a full-size panel. It could be just as wide, shorter. I don't know yet. And we will put something in here. I don't want to put a full journal or anything in there because, one, my journal pages are too wide. But two, I just want to keep it to really much of an ephemera holder. So a lot of pockets, a lot of places to put ephemera, and pretty, fussy cuts and things like that. So, it could be something as small as this that just gets tabbed in. We use the washi to sort of blend in and help hide this little black stuff. I don't really just want to put another piece of washi here because then I got to do it to the other side and blah, blah, blah. So I figured, no, let's see if we can tab it in. Maybe we can tab something in here and make it, make it pretty. But we'll have to do that we'll have to get crafty with that and see if we can come up with a new way to do that very soon. So today we are going to put a pocket down here that was provided. We got 2 of these. And it gives us the gusset, so we'll put it here on the bottom so we can put some of the taller tags that come with this kit in this pocket. And then I'm taking her journal cards, and I left myself some white paper. I was supposed to do it a different way, and I got goofed up. But we're going to use the white paper because I printed on the back of everything, or just about. And we are going to make a slight waterfall type writing area, right? So we can open this up, and we can either put pockets in here and put ephemera in there, or we can leave it empty, put one on top of the other, and we can, you know, keep opening it up and using them. Now, like I said, I forgot what I was doing and realized that I needed some white tabs to make this work. And one of them came out sideways. So what I'm thinking is that we are going to tab them in a way that you would open this one this way, and then you have 2 going up. Now it's only 3. Normally waterfalls 3 to 5, 6, something fun. I could do it underneath to give it a longer ordeal, but usually the waterfalls are continuous, so I want to make sure you can see them down here. I'm not having a lot of work. I could do 2 up and 1 out instead of across the top, so that we have a little bit more of a waterfall here. But I have to make that decision, because once I glue down the first one, you know, I'm sort of working my way through on the rest. And each one has a slightly different tab, so it makes a difference too. I'm trying to see if I can line them up, what we get. Fun part will be lining them up nicely. I was watching Pink Monarch, and I was watching My White Cat Journal, I think is her name. And they both were doing a lot of waterfalls lately, and so in two different kits, and I was like, yep, I haven't done a waterfall piece in a while, in this sense, like the waterfall for ephemera pieces. So I feel these are pretty. I think we can do it this way. I just have to decide that on the, you know, decorate the top one next to, say, a little flatter, but whether or not we put, a lot of them put pockets on the inside and put another journal card in them, and I don't know if we have small enough journal cards. She does have them this size and smaller. I just didn't print them all out. So maybe if I put a little paper pocket, we could stick the journal card in there to write on. But that I think we'll decorate as we go and see what kind of scraps I have and what kind of journal cards I printed that fit this theme. So we're going to do the 3 pieces here today, right? We can sort of focus them here. And then, because I only had 4 of these cards, and this is my 4th one. But I didn't know if I don't know if it feels like it matches the rest of these, but I'm almost feeling like we need a 4th one, and I can find another way to make a pocket over here. I need a pocket on the bottom of this other side, just like I'm going to create a sort of a fussy cut pocket on this side with that journal card. I feel like this one needs to go on here, and I do like this as on my top. I believe this does match. This is the photo, though, so that would sort of be pretty, actually. So what if we... Gives me room to actually decor up in the corner, put a word, something. Do these 2. I can cut that one down, put it there, and then put this one underneath that as my last one that actually flips out the completely different direction, because I have to be different. A little different. Last one, 3 up, 1 over to work with. And I like the bottom with that. It does blend with that, so it looks a little pretty consistent. I could shift it up where it's 1, 2, 3, but then the 4th one changes it, because they're not too obvious. Like, they're not all the same color. Of course, you're back a little ways. I'll have to look. Yes, I will cut off that white, don't worry. That one's a little different, so we can see them all. But it'd be 1, 2 up, 1 over, and then the 4th one. So it loses the waterfall if I don't keep that consistent. This one either has to be the first one that just opens out, and then the other 3 pop over and above it, or this is the last one that opened. Like, we'd have 3 up and 1 out. So I don't think in the middle it works as it's supposed to. So let's take off the bottom here. I don't need that no matter what. I love that I printed on the back of all of these, because it's an automatic writing space, and or just covered something, right? We're not dealing with this is going underneath. I just don't know exactly. Yeah, let's see if we can get the 4th one in there, because I think it's going to make all the difference in the world if we have a 4th waterfall. Just get a little bit more of effect. It's sort of the thing is where you can either take plain paper, make it all the same size, all the same shape, right? And then you just decorate the front of it, which is what Pink Monarch, Pink Monarch journals, she's been working on a green and beige kit, and it's all on a spined, crinkled journal. I don't know the name of it right now. So sorry about that. And she's been working on each page, and one of them had like 5 or 6, you know, had 5 or 6 of these of her own cards. I think she had pattern and then put cream over and then pocket slash, whatever. But I mean, it was just the idea, and I was like, oh, and I love being able to use, like, it's just, you have all these journal cards. These are very, almost square, so I felt they made perfect because they fit inside my panels. They weren't your standard journal cards, so I felt like it made a great way to flip out and use it. I thought it felt like a good idea. All right. So I'll do a little inking on it. I did ink the other ones already. I just was trying to debate on this one. I don't mind using journal cards, you know, for pockets and other things. Sometimes that's the best way. But then it means you have to put something else inside them, right? Then you gotta go, oh, well, now I have to decorate something or create something to make, you know, to go in that pocket. So, yeah, you know, it's a 50-50. Either you make the pocket or you make the ephemera. And, you know, these guys are always so pretty. Sometimes they're just great the way they are. So, let's see. Put this up here. I hope you're all doing really well today. We are busy, busy, busy. And that was a problem. It was just, we were busy and then needed a couple days down. Put this on the bottom. I'm not worried about this. No matter what, this is going on the bottom just to hold some stuff. So, this is our big project today, is this, and sort of fitting in our pockets here on the side. I want 2 side pockets and 2 outer pockets for these guys. And so I had to work on that too. I was like, oh, let's work this out. Okay, so I think we're gonna go 1, 2, and 3. As much as these two blend, sort of, because the one thing is I feel like these two on the bottom look almost exactly alike, and so I felt like there should be some shift. There should be some ordeal. So maybe we're gonna go back to where we started. This way you can sort of see difference in colors. And I wish we could have this big of a gap, but I think it sort of ruins the effect. I don't know, because when you open each one, I know that the joy of this is the fact that you know, it's sort of a continuous pop up. There's that, and then this guy would go underneath. So I'm just sort of somewhat lining them up where that for each fold the next one starts. So this would be the look, give or take, for that. And it is patterned. I mean, it's not like the other ones where there's sort of, you can sort of see the cream of each one or a different. So it's a little bit of a blended. It's a sort of a hidden waterfall. It's not something super obvious. I feel like maybe we should, before I get going, leave the top square, but let's maybe corner the bottoms. So one sec. I gotta go find my corner puncher thingy, because of course things are always somewhere else. Like I said, I use my corner rounder thingy probably more for packaging and promo stuff than I do for actual crafting sometimes. Isn't that how it happens though? We use our old you know, like office supply stuff now for crafting, and a lot of our craft tools sometimes gets used for the business. It's like it goes. Yeah, I like that. I think it helps, just not having it. So, now this one's a little harder because it's not on the bottom. I can try to do that. Yeah, it's fine. There we go. So it looks continuous, and it'll be sort of a shocker that, oh, look, it folds the other direction. Okay, so let's start with the bottom, work our way down. Why? Let's not, except of course now, a little bit in the corners. I think more on the bottom side than the top. I'm not too worried about the top. We can't really see the coloring as much. But I want to make sure that those corners now are back to being dealt with. So thank you for joining me again in this wonderful thing. You guys seem to like the first one. I really hope I can continue to inspire ideas. Of course, like I said, I'm getting them from everywhere. So little things, just seeing little clips everywhere. And people are showing off projects, and I went, I wonder if I can do something like that. And sometimes it is. It's just simply, oh, wait, hold on. So, no. Did we go back this way or did we go the other way? I went the other way, huh? Shoot. We went back to this way. I think we go back this way. Yes. I really do love that top one. Man, do I love that top one. So, it is our widest one, so it is our starting point. So, I am just, of course, I took the top off, so now it's all, there we go. Oh, there we go. So, and so the widest one to give us a starting point. Oh, I hate when this stuff gets sort of gooey. Okay, we don't want to go too far. I want to go down a little bit because I do want a nice little border, but I'm not going too far inward this way, but just enough here, I think. Maybe middle. Okay, let's see if I can get more middle. There we go. And I hope that didn't undo itself completely. Downside, if you get it up, if you get the glitter glue up off the thing, you might not get it back down. There we go. So I'm just, these little flaps that we created, I'm just gluing them. Try not to get any glue on the other side. Get my thumb thingy out. And we're going to, I'm just lining it up. Top of one card, the bottom of the other. Trying to line up this, making sure that, well, one's crooked. They're all going to be crooked, aren't they? Oh, yeah, why not? And then if your fold isn't perfect, but try to give it enough to where it's not too obvious that as you flip it up, you're going to see this. But I guess, yeah, you don't really see what's underneath here. We're trying to not leave much of that kind of gap, just this. And as you can see, I did goof. This first one may have a pocket just because I did not have a tab on it. I started cutting and realized, no, I wanted to leave leftover white paper to help with the tabs, right? Left, right, top, bottom, whatever, to do something with. And I got excited and I was cutting and trimming and went, no. Yeah, that's what happens when you're watching TV or you walk away from your craft area and you're like, do, and you're like, oh no. Like just enough of a gap, make it easy for it to open and close. Just sort of gluing it down, right? Now each one has a slide. I think each tab gets smaller and smaller. But there we go. So far so good. And then this one, we're going to line it up, but now it's going to open up this way. And the joy, this has to be open to get to this anyway, so nothing is in the way. Nothing at all. And I know I'm taking my chances. I'm not closing up my glue bottle every time I'm done because I'm trying to go from one to the next. So now I'll cover it up and hope for the best, right? Okay. So then we're going to line it up with like we did everything else. Making sure for the most part it's straight. You know, it blends enough that the background is nice with this, so it's not too bad that there's a gap. All right. So there we go. This last one opens this way. These, you know, are here. I think the nice thing with the waterfall is either you decor or pocket the front, and the back is all writing, or this is decor. You know, it's writing here, and you could put another pocket here, right? Pocket. She did pockets, sideways, bottom, belly band, whatever you wanted. If you didn't want to make this a writing space, but what you could pull out was writable, right? So if you pulled out the journal card, that's what you wrote on, you tucked it back in. Because sometimes, yes, when things pop open, it's a little hard to write on. But this one has a pretty good, we're not too bulky up here. It just depends if I do the front cover, if that gets bulky, then this might get a little harder to write on. But we now have this beautiful waterfall. And the more we close it, right, more everything on top is closing, the more it will stay folded down. All right, then the other fun part of this concoction, so today will probably just be somewhat short and sweet, and we're going to stick to the elementals like we did last time, and we're going to just get, you know, the pockets and the pages and what is the word? Get things done. Sorry, I got a text message that came across, but she's gonna have to wait. Shoot. Oh, she's asking me early. I got kids that I normally help get to certain events. Half the time, my daughter is going, and so it makes it really easy. But there's times where it's an extra band thing or whatever that my daughter doesn't have to do, but some of her good friends do. And the only way they get a ride is if by chance I catch them. Yeah, I pick them up after school and get them over there. So I think I can do it today. She's like, can I? And I'm like, yeah. I think if I, yeah, I can't think. I'm thinking out loud, going, let me add that to the schedule. A lot of running around this afternoon to do. And that's the other thing. Oh my goodness, I'm definitely Uber as usual. What is my cat doing? Oh, weird. I heard something. I was like, All right, so we are gonna do a little something. Oh, okay, shoot. Yeah, no, poor thing. She's like, I'm like, I want to reply. I'm like, oh. All right, I'll have to do it that way. I had a different response. It must have updated itself. Mister, what are you doing? So not like you to be up there. That's odd. my old man, as I like to call him. So this one blends in, actually, it doesn't blend as much as I thought, but it's dark down here, so it's nice. It's sort of hidden. I love that it's slightly scooped, but it'll allow me to put some larger tags in here. If they happen to reach up here, it'll help keep these down. Because I don't think, the only thing I could do is I could put a wax seal or something fun up here and one down here and tie it, and it would help keep it closed. But it makes it bulky at the same time, so we'll see. I think over time this will be fine. Where is my, here's where you get your bone folder out. And you just sort of, I know, I'm going to fold it down and then turn around and open it up, right? But you can sort of bone fold over each one of these crevices just to help try to lay everything down a little flatter. And a journal card gets, you know, bent a little or something in it. But I think over time that won't be a problem. But I feel bad. She texts us. I'll just text her later and hope that I can catch her. Oh, at least she's trying. Okay, so let's glue. But yes, I end up being uber more than anything. Like this afternoon is just one thing after another. I pick up one, you know, pick up one or two. Depends how I look at that. Drop them off at different places, turn around, go back out, drop them off somewhere else. Yeah, I'm actually really shocked that my, well, I'm not that shocked, I guess, but yes, my 8th grader is definitely busier than my senior. But they are definitely two different personalities too, so they do different things, and you know, one's coming into her own a little later in life, and the other one's, you know, hitting the ground running. Which I guess is to be expected with your second and third children, right? Like, they see the older ones or expect the older ones, and they want to be active, and they just want to get go. And so, of course, they're active sooner, or busier sooner, or, you know, I don't know. They just seem, my second one's definitely a little more energetic. Yeah, heavily energetic, but all right. So there's the pocket there. Beautiful. All right, so we have a pocket for tags, which, let me see, I can even pull a few out. Oh, these some gorgeous size flowers, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, are they pretty and things. I can't wait to decorate the front and expand, get some papers on there and get, you know, some expanded pieces. But what I wanted to look for, that's dark. Do we have a light one? So there's a dark one, which I hate to have that do that one because it sort of blends in. Do we have a lighter one? We do. That one's a little lighter, so that might be nice. See, we go there, and it doesn't quite cover. I thought it'd be a little taller, but you can only go so big. Even, you know, journal cards. I thought I had one more tag. I do, but those are smaller, actually. Those are medium, and those might actually fit in the side pockets better. So I have two, but yeah, I think it's gonna be the lighter one. Okay. All right then. Yes, everything's fussy cut in, some extra pieces, and oh, that just okay. So she would go in here, blends in but doesn't. We do something stickle here, decorate this a little here, put something here. It won't keep it down, which is a bummer. But we can put some fluff here, maybe just naturally, right? Things will naturally do what they're supposed to do. Now, this one is sort of easy in its own right. I wanted to simply softly fussy cut the white off this edge as a pocket. I didn't just want to put a thumb hole in there, but I know it's floral, so it's, you know, we don't want it to be it to stick out too much, because then they just get caught, and then that's no fun. But let's see if we can do a slight fussy cut as a slit. So we know, instead of doing a thumb notch, we have this opening here, and it reminds us or tells us that there's potential to slip something inside and hide it, right? And since it's not the side we're gluing, it's not like it has a bunch of ups and downs. There we go. So I want to glue this one here because I believe this one, almost top to bottom. We're going to go outward. So before I do it, in case I have to cut a little off, I may just have to trim a little off the bottom, make it a little smaller. But we're going to work on this side. Now with that, so much fun, right? What I want to do is I'm going to trace this along the side of the tab, and we're going to have to trim off some of this, which is fine. When I first started it, it was doing something else, so again, things changed. We'll trim it off. This can still be used somewhere else, who knows what and where, and we'll just re-thumb notch it. And this one's a little higher, this one's a little lower, so it's sort of middle of the folio, but it's not actually middle of the pocket, and that's fine. Because we'll probably put something skinny but decent size to fit in here. But I want it to do our usual, you know, border, so I need to make sure. Now, the best way I can think of to do that, let's fold this puppy in half, best I can, is to, and it does stay, is to trace it on the edge here and then move it in and up after we trace it so that we know that it has a good potential of, there's really not much. It is right there. There's not much to, I just wanted these little crevices to potentially match. Just like when you try to match a round corner, we want to make sure that it has sort of that same feel. I think, I mean, personally, I could be wrong. Maybe this doesn't work. If not, we trim it off too, right? But I want it to match the best I can with my cut and my tracing the curve of the file folder, because I don't really want to lose the file folder. I want to keep those potential tabbed curves and whatnot. I'm not trying to lose them. I'm not trying to get rid of them. And I want them to be enhanced, you know, because we are giving it a border. We are lining things up. Now this may be a little lower than, all right, so now if I move it in, it is almost perfect. So the bottom, this one panel can go top to bottom higher than the middle, or even the outside, I guess. Because if I go here, way up here with it, and I bring it in quite a bit, right, it's going to be quite a difference, which then I may just cut across the top then when we come up short. Like maybe we'll round the corner, but maybe we are going to come up short. And then that way this has all the room in the world to make up that difference. Yeah, I think it's best to mirror this. Can you see? Mirror this here, but let's cut off short and then just round that corner. And I think it would give me just enough of what I'm looking for. I think we're going to make adjustments now. Of course, I wish we could mirror it for the other side and go, hey, I can just do the same thing on that side. Well, I can't. But let's go about here then. I think we're going to go here and try to cut across as evenly as possible. Do I have my cutter? Yeah, not deckled. Do I have my little one? Where's my little one? Eek. I do have a small blue memory keeper, which fits when you're dealing with like these 8-inch type, you know, 8-inch tall-ish, whatever. 8 wide. It's a little memory keeper. Old school. Oh, scrapbook days, right? But there we go. And that little piece always gets used, right? And then if we corner it, we start with the little corner. You never want to start with the big one because you can't undo that. Let's see, we need to do this, right? Let's see if that's enough, or if we need a bigger corner. Let's see. So we match that up to sort of find our groove here. I do like that. I think that's going to work. Now we just got to do the other element, right? Where's my pencil? There it is. So now it's just deciding to keep it about here. Maybe I don't want to go too far in or too far out. We've been doing pretty good with our eyeballing here, but let's see if that works. Now I could see potential in this strip with a hole punch in it, with the punch in it already. I have a great way to make a tiny little, you know, trim that off. Wouldn't that be fun? We could stack the two of them because they're different directions, or even, yeah, the other way. We could stack them and make them on whatever I create over here. We could make itty bitty, continuously sort of, ooh, yeah, I have a thought. I wonder if these are the same. Just about, but we could layer this to where we have 2 thumb notches on this and expand this as a, you know, thinly layered pocket. So, well, we may have some ideas here. Okay, so let's get the top here because it's definitely not anymore. We have it cleared here. Let me get that little bottom section off. So I'm just sort of eyeballing it and cleaning it up and, you know, making it work for us again. It is a bummer because these were gorgeous pages, and I thought they were going to, I don't know what I was going to use them for. A couple things did shift. I noticed when we were done with things were not quite exactly what I was hoping for or doing. I think this one I ended up making bigger because I thought we'd have more space, and I mismanaged how big these were going to be. And so I didn't quite have as much space as I thought I would. And that's okay. So we're going to line it up with the bottom, line it up here. We've got this nice little pocket. This hole punch it here. Let me guess, I moved that too. I think I want the wider. No, I'm doing the 1.5, aren't I? I am. Okay. Gotta have a hole punch. We'll do about there. Ta-da. I think I did use the bigger one, but after all of that, how small this is, I don't think we need as big of a hole punch. I will probably need it for the other side, though. I don't know. We'll see how small the other side turns out, right? So we are working on just continuing with our sort of height and space. I did not cover that. Oh no, guys. Oh, I know better. Got sidetracked with what we were doing. I think because I thought I was gonna do the other pocket first, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad we're doing this one first, and then it'll let me know exactly how much space I have for the other one. I don't even love when these pins just don't work. I don't know. I think what happens is the push pins get a lot of glue on them, and so then they don't slide right in because they're now gunked up. So I'm like, all right, so we're just gonna do the three sides. So we can make a nice little pocket. It covers our panel. It creates us a pocket. We finally get to start making some of these panels a little bit more usable than just a background. Sorry, I may be off camera, but I'm trying to do as tight of a glue job as I can, which sometimes is not my forte. I get a little wide. I'm going to say Gail's the queen of getting right on that edge. There we go. All right. If you're new to me and in general, Queen Augustinelli. She'd get a kick out of that. Gail Augustinelli is one of our longtime paper crafters in this junk journal world. We, myself and my mother found her 5+ years ago, and she was doing it before that with other things and some other multimedias and things like that, other mixed media items. But she had definitely jumped on the bandwagon just before the whole COVID thing, and then continued on. And so we see how big of a gap here, which I probably could have moved this over a little bit more. I have a little bit more space, but that's okay. We just have to keep in mind that we do sort of the same thing on the other side. This does fit things like this, though. I mean, look, I can still get almost get a whole tab in here. So some of the two other smaller tags would definitely fit in here nicely. Or any piece of small paper, anything I want to create would fit in here. Now this one, I will match this line. So the only thing is just trimming a little bit off this edge here because it gets pretty close to the ordeal. So we're just going to keep lining things up here. So we're going to make sure that top for top, side for side, keeping everything, like I said, really in uniform. We're keeping very clean lines, and we're keeping things pretty, not too, what's the word, like off kilter, because I really want the florals and the swirls and all that to be our flow, to be our curve, and letting everything else be pretty clean cut, because there's something to be said about things lining up and matching up and giving us a continuous feel. There's something about it that can be just as elegant and just as and catching at that, to line things up than it is to just sort of throw it on the page and put it where it hits. There's something about it that there's a lot of journalers out there who do the black borders or do, what is it, Pink Monarch. Her kit is in beige and greens right now, and she has really clean lines, but she's letting the papers speak for themselves, and that's, I'm really loving the newest. I think she might be done with it now. I caught it late, but she does have something going on. So, all right, so we've got this, and it allows us to stick things in here, right? So we have all of this now that we can stick something in there and sort of peekaboo it right here on the edge. We could almost put another one of these journal cards right in there, make it just a smidge smaller, and we could tuck it in. And she does have some really small, like these are almost ATC size, and I think she has a page that's even smaller. So if I wanted to put something in here, I could tuck in some of the, actually, what would be really cute. I have hordes of these, and I don't know what I'm going to do with all of them. I have all these bottles. So like I could tuck, you know what, well, that was too big. But I could tuck some, you know, these jars and bottles in there. You know, I could hide some cute stuff in here. And you'd have to, you know, root through it a little bit to find them. Could put a flower in there. So we could put some fussy cuts in there. You'd have to probably get tweezers to get them out. So that'd be the only thing. Maybe a smaller journal card would be might be the smarter bet. I don't know. I don't know if I printed any of the, yeah, make things a little bizarre, but we could do that. So we do have journal cards. So I would just have to trim it down, top and bottom, and it would, you know, and then we could get it to hide in there, right? And you would go, well, what's that? Even if I put a little bit of lace on the edge of a card, you'd know to pull it out and it would be pretty. So I think there's some potential there to add some fun pieces, you know, in there. I did print out some of the castle ones, even if it is sideways, you'll just see the flower and you pull it out and you have a journal card, right? So I think we can put a few fun things in that as we're going along and seeing what, you know, what I have left over, what I'm not decorating with, and we'll tuck things inside there for sure. Okay, let's do the next panel, and then we may decide whether or not to do, I may have to pause you for a second and see if I can go pull some of our laces and see which blues and beiges I have will look good with this, right? I'm like, ew, I don't know. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing over here. What is, oh, I'm like, what is sticking? Isn't that funny? So I think for the most part, this did work. The whole lining it up and bringing it inward. And now this one is, you know, definitely something where it's not a huge, but we are bringing it down and we're bringing it up. So really, this is the only spot I really need to cut. Not so much the top, because we do know if I line this up here, and I flatten this out for a second. Let's bring it out a little bit farther so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, let's line it up, line it flat, but line it up. I think we need it to be here, so I know what to cut off here, I believe. Is that the right side? Okay, yep. And then move it in. Yeah, so if we're doing it down here, we line it up, and we trim this off, and then bring it in. Again, we're going to trim stuff off and make it work. But this one, I only have to, and we'll round the corner again, just like we did on this side over here. We will round this corner once I bring it in, I think. But we need to get that tabbed feel off it. So I'm going to do this, actually. Let's see if I can plop this in here. But I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend, or week. Hope your weekend was well. Bright, sunny, warm, cold. I don't know. We had both. We were 90 on Friday, 82 or 85 on Saturday. But we were in Santa Cruz on Saturday, so that was nice. We only had like mid-70s. And then it was, I don't know, I don't remember what Sunday was. I don't know. I mean, I don't remember Mother's Day. We stayed inside. I didn't care. I was like, ugh, it can be whatever. I really don't care. Man, we were tired. We did very little. We woke up late. I think me and Lizzie fell asleep on the couch at like, I don't know, 11:30. We didn't get home till 10:30. It was a long day. And then we, so we tried it. So if I go inward with this, pretty healthy. Definitely want to corner that. Definitely want to corner it. So the same feel as the other side. But yeah, we had a long day. And I was up at 5:30. Surprisingly, I'm surprised I didn't go to sleep sooner, but crashed by 11:30. And then I'm cornering that top, but not the bottom. Only because it's just straight down. And I don't know what we're doing for the bottom. Now I got to find a new way to cover the bottom here, because I put this one, which I was going to trim and put over here on the bottom. I'm going to have to find another card or paper or something, which I might have some paper left over to do that. Maybe we'll go, it's dark. We have a lot of dark. I would like something lighter, so maybe I can find another journal card or something in my, oh, you know what? There was a big old flower. I was sort of thinking about maybe making it a flower pocket. And that might be nice. Maybe we can overlap that flower and make it a pocket here instead. That might work. Okay, but I do need to, let's see, yeah, I didn't go very down here, up here. I'm sort of guessing at it, of course, not really measuring. Why would we measure? Probably go off this top one. This is gonna be my more accurate. Ew. All right, I have to go do it the other way because that one, this is taller. That was a shorter piece. So this one, we're not cutting anything off because I don't have anything to cover that up with. I need to trim. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, now this one, I didn't cut as much off, and so we lost. I didn't get that big old pretty, deeper potential pocket. So I'll keep that. I'll keep them. They're decorative. But this is the potential with the punch in it. So we'll do our hole punch down here, right where that is a bump. We're going to do our hole punch down here, more likely, or a little bit middle. So I got to find that. It's looking pretty. Gosh, I love these flowers, guys. I mean, like I said, the kit is huge. There's so much of it. And like I said, I'm just using maybe a third of the kit. I mean, she gives us four PDFs of just gorgeousness. And I'm using, like I said, using hit and miss pieces of all of it. So, okay, we'll go up a little higher than I thought. So I have a nice clean, there we go. I feel like something's warm. I think I'm smelling the, I do have my candle light up pretty much all the way to make sure we stay, but it does sort of warm up my phone. That's one downside I think I have right now to the candle light, is it does, even though your phone is above the light, it does warm up. Okay, so that's all of our bits and pieces are now just such gorgeous tones to the edges of these pages. I don't need to do much. I just have to, wherever I, remove some stuff. There we go. Okay. Okay. So we now have this sort of laid out like we did over here. Good gap. Get it in the middle. It did work the most part for trimming, for tracing it and then just bringing it in. It did work pretty well. So I am stoked about that. Okay, so let's get this, oops. Let's get this done. I can probably let you go. I just got to figure that bottom section. Well, yeah, I had that huge flower, which I don't know. I really would like that for the front cover, but I could print it again. It was smart. I did make the PDFs of all the stuff so that if there's something I needed to reprint, I could. So I didn't have to go, searching for it and do this all over again. I'm like, no. Sometimes you just find something and it needs to be in more than one place. And how can you say no to that? Like, I mean, I could cluster a bunch of the flowers and make a pocket, but all right. We have a new pocket over here. Here's our pocket here. So yeah, what I was thinking, I think was the thought. I had it the other day, of course, when I was doing all this, and then, you're in bed, of course, and God knows what hour. We have this huge flower. And if I put enough paper behind it or did something, not quite. I mean, I could put it just down here, right? We just trimmed it off, and it would just be just a semi-pocket. But I was trying to cover up a majority of this, and so that isn't quite working in my favor. Those aren't big enough. I mean, I have another pocket here, which I could go sideways with, but I think my problem was, yeah, again, not really. I wanted it to cover and just be a sort of oh, by the way, there's a pocket there, right? And that's why that square was working so well, because it was the right size. I don't think there was a lot of, trying to think of, I thought there was some 4-up journal cards, but maybe not. I think that is what we used up. Oh, it's this one. Those are the sizes. I could trim that down to use it. I don't know. There should be 1 or 2 more. It's a very unusual size, or it was a really pretty size, and I might have blown it up to make that work for me. I might have blown that up. A few things are a little off. I made them smaller or bigger according to what I needed. I mean, there are washies and stuff like that, but I sort of just wanted to cover it and it'd be a pocket at the same time. So let's use that one because I'm not sure where else I'm going to put that. And again, if I absolutely have to, I can always reprint something. I just need one more thing. Because I believe this is the right... I mean, I can trim it down, right? So again, we'll do the same. We can do the same concept. Cover it, bring it up. Trim it off. And what's trimmed off can actually fit inside. Nice to have some light color. Most will get caught off. It'd still be dark. Let's see, which shooting star direction do I want to go in? Maybe we'll go this way with it. Trim it off just a little. Go to the bottom with it. Okay, so let's paper clip it and trim it. So we have the same, we have a little bit of shape here. And then I'll have to trim a little bit off this side. And I think we can have a nice pretty pocket down here. Very unusual, right? We got the books in that up here that are sort of, you know, fussy cut. So you can tell that there's something here that you might be able to play with. And then we have this one, which is, you know, a little bit more, I mean, I could do the same thing, I guess. I could fussy cut this way too, but no, I want the shooting star in the right direction and most of that to be in tow. So, let's trace the bottom here so that I can get it. I have to do the other way first. Hold on. I know I'm in the corner. Can you see anything? Not really. Okay, so we need to, I'm going to line this up. Let's see, let's line that up as best I can. There's just a little gap. We're going to line this up. All right, so we know where to cut. So that's straight with that, even though maybe nothing else is. We're going to go here. We're going to trim out here, but I'm going to wait until I'm done with this corner, and then it may be what I want it to do, and I'll know how far in or out to go. But really, when I trim that up, there is actually nothing here to trim. So we would just corner it and trim this up. And it's actually going to go backwards. This one might have both sides this way. I think we're going to keep it here because I don't really want to put a hole over here. I don't want to lose any more of the blue. So I'm just going to hole punch the bottom corner. And then I'm just going to trim off the edge here a little bit. So we're going to go a little bit backwards with this. Not backwards, but reverse with this one a little bit. We're not going to be... I went too short, but that's okay. Well, I was doing good. Not total perfection. I should have, would have, could have, huh? Okay, so we keep to that concept. Or do I? Maybe I do. Hold on, let me get my paper clip. Sort of hemming and hawing here. So sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I am standing up, so I'm a little closer to the phone too. So I'll try not to talk too loud, so as to not get it in your ears going, what happened? I think I am going to trim this up. I know I cornered it, but it's not going to make a difference. I think I want a little bit of that feel. I want some movement. I want it to sort of blend better with the... like we've been doing with everything else. I like the idea of that matching. It is a little short, so maybe I will fussy cut this just like we did the other side. Just we're going to tuck it in this way instead of tucking it in this way. And I'm okay with that too, I think. So let's get some... It's a little design on the fly here. Like I said, we're using the papers to be our movement, our enjoyment, or whatever, and just sort of, you know, revel in what's there. And I love just the softness of this. So it's really easy to play with, really easy to work with. Let's see. We're going to go here and we're just going to round it that way. So we have this, so that doesn't really matter that it comes up short of this as much as I would have loved it to, because that one's a little tighter over there, this one's a little wider. That gives us the same concept. We can tuck this way and hide some stuff in it, some cute little things. I may have to print that really small. I think it's smaller than an ATC card. She had a whole page of these images and tiny little cards. So I may need to take some of those and do some printing, because I have a feeling we may need to be filling some little holes. Some smaller pockets or tucks or whatever. So we're going to go across this top here. bottom. Eek, where is it? Come on. Yeah, see, that's the problem. I go get it, and then I'm like, nope, that's too wide. It's going to make it really hard to do anything. I'm not going to get anything in there. Ugh, I try to be a good girl and use my things, but that's just too wide. I can't tell what I'm doing. I got to quickly get this glue on there before it hardens, and then it doesn't do its job. It's the only thing. Glitter glue does dry fast, but it can dry really hard and like in a clump, and then you're like, well, that didn't do me any good. All right, let's see if I can get in here. Nope. All right, there we go. There we go. Good, still lines up here, lines up here, lines up here, and I'm okay with that. A little bit more open. See, that top did pop open just a little. There we go. Let's see if we can get that to close without making the hole too much smaller. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a feel of little stuff maybe to get us where we need to go. And that's okay. There's a lot of little jars and bells and jars and vases that she gave us that have like stardust and stuff in them, which I think they're great. And that may be a perfect thing to put in here, right? So to make it easier so we know what's in here, let's put this tiny little guy in here real quick. Sort of getting a feel for everything, right? And seeing what this beautiful kit can do. So with our folio, not folio, what is a folio? But it's an ephemera holder book. Make it look like a book, especially up on your shelf. So we can, let's see, can we tuck this in? Almost. It's going to stick out just a little bit. Well, I don't think this end is straight anyway, so let's do that. And trim and cut and trim and cut and trim and cut. There we go. Well, I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for sitting here a moment and watching me get these next set of interactive pieces done. I will work on the idea of what to put on this one, because this side still has some work, right? We still have to decide something. We got a pocket and a waterfall on the other side. There we go. So perfect. So there we go. We still got to put the edge, the bottom of this card in here as a mini one, tucked into the pocket. See, ta-da, loving it. So nothing ever wasted. Edges are everywhere. Things are everywhere. Oh goodness. Okay. Get my seat back where it was. Show this off real quick and we'll let you go. But there we are. We have the inside done. At least the basics, right? And I said we need to put something in here where we need to tab, at 2/3 of the page or the full length of the page in to hide the black and white. Gives us one more interactive to put, belly bands. Maybe we do a double belly band here. We have this whatever I tab in opened up to give more pockets, pockets and tucks. And that way, everything she has and then some. If I need to reprint some stuff or reshape some things, we'll continue to fill it in. Oh, but we'll do a little something beige here to do that. We've got this here. So now I have no more. Whoops, that's the other kit. No more pieces. There we go. Nothing sticking out. No more paper clips. We've got our beautiful, cover. We will put a beige or... I don't think blue. I'm thinking beige to sort of help it blend in. Keep it beige and keep it simple for now. Definitely plenty of room. I mean, right now I know it's really close, but I mean, it is wider here when it sticks out, than that side, which is to be expected. But, my camera's off. But, this side's also wider. It's going to be expected. So, we have our book. We have our edges. We're going to hide that gap with some lace so it's not so obvious. We got the front to decorate. Maybe a large flower. And I think that large flower down here would be really pretty with the bottles and other some cream papers and things like that. I mean, doing this, roughing it up, getting some color behind things will be great. We have all these we have these pieces left over. So I have a lot of pieces actually left in strips that I think we could do a pocketed, slits, right? We can find ways to expand, like say on this, and get different slots to put tuck things into, to maybe cover and tab in our things that we need to hide. So I think that's the ordeal. I know I don't want Velcro. I just feel like it rips trying to open and close it. That is a gap. I would love for it to be perfectly flat. But then it just means I have to... We'd have to wrap something around it and carefully tie it to keep it closed. And you normally don't tie something around a book, right? You clasp it, you close it. The only other thing else I could do is find a way to put something on here and latch it shut. We just pop up a latch. And I'll have to see if I have anything in any of the old Tim Holtz stuff that has sort of a hook effect. And maybe we could put two things in here where we can hook it closed and it would stay flatter. So I'll look into that too. If I can find something better to close it tighter, I will carefully pull these off. We'll put the papers on top. Good to go. No harm, no foul. We find another way to clasp it shut. Keep our book closed shut. Because they do hinges. They do all kinds of other little things. So I'll see what I have with the hardware and see if we can do something that way. So maybe it doesn't stay open. Because I think there's plenty of room with this even closed to put anything and everything we want in here. I have plenty of room to keep. I'm looking down the side. There's plenty of room for me to do, you know, our new tabbed piece here. Put stuff in here. Add more pockets to here. There's plenty of room in this little 1/2-inch ordeal to definitely keep adding to this stuff, right? We can add pockets to this and it's not going to get in the way if we put pockets and things inside there. You know, I definitely have room in here to put another journal card and things like that. So we're getting along. We're getting good. We have room to grow. We just got to find the best way to keep it closed to have it feel have that feel of a book without maybe the gap. That gap is bugging me. Even though I love the idea of lace over it, I don't know. So we'll see. So thank you very much for liking, loving, commenting, joining me today as we get to the next level of this done, which I'm loving. All the new pretties. I love the papers. I love, love, love them. It is a Star Catcher kit from Ink and Page Journals. I put the link in the last video, so please go back and look at it. And she has a full YouTube video of how she intended the kit. This is a much larger kit than I'm using. And, you know, you can follow along, get some, you know, beautiful digitals from her, and join along with me as I'm making my folio ephemera book, you know, as she makes a drawer and journal kit. So, and there's a journal to go with it. There's a whole other set of, there's all the papers for the journal still that I have to print. So we have covers for that too. So, oh my gosh, plenty of projects to work on, ladies and gentlemen. So Touch of Blue. This is my Floral Dreamer ephemera holder book. And I hope you will join me again real soon. Love you all very much. Bye-bye.